Chapter 29. Now these are the words of the letter that Jeremiah the prophet sent from Jerusalem unto the residue of the elders of captivity, and to the priests, and to the prophets, and to the people whom Nebuchadnezzar had carried away captive from Jerusalem to Babylon, after that Jeconiah the king, and the queen mother, and the officers and the princes of Judah and of Jerusalem, and the craftsmen and the smiths were departed from Jerusalem, by the hand of Elisal the son of Shaphan, and Gamaliel the son of Hilkiah, whom Zedekiah king of Judah sent into Babylon to Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, unto all the captivity, whom I have caused to be carried away captive from Jerusalem unto Babylon, build you houses and dwell in them, and plant gardens and eat the fruit of them. Take you wives and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that you may bear sons and daughters, and multiply you there, and be not diminished, and seek the peace of the city, whether I have caused you to be carried away captive, and pray unto the Lord for it, for in the peace thereof shall you have peace. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Let not your prophets that are in the midst of you, and your diviners, beguile you, neither hearken you to your dreams which you cause to be dreamed. For they prophesy falsely unto you in my name. I have not sent them, saith the Lord. For thus saith the Lord, After 70 years are accomplished for Babylon, I will remember you, and perform my good word toward you, in causing you to return to this place. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and hope. And you shall call upon me, and go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And you shall seek me, and find me, when you shall search for me with all your heart. And I will be found of you, saith the Lord, and I will turn your captivity, and gather you from all the nations, and from all the places where I have driven you, saith the Lord, and I will bring you back unto the place where I caused you to be carried away captive. For you have said, The Lord hath raised us up prophets in Babylon. For thus saith the Lord concerning the king that sits upon the throne of David, and concerning all the people that dwell in this city, your brethren that are not gone forth with you into captivity. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Behold, I will send upon them the sword, the famine, and the pestilence. I will make them like vile figs that cannot be eaten, they are so bad. And I will pursue after them with sword, and with the famine, and with pestilence, and I will make them a horror unto all the kingdoms of the earth, a curse and an astonishment, a hissing, and a reproach among all the nations where I have driven them, because they have not hearkened to my words, saith the Lord, wherewith I sent unto them my servants the prophets, sending them before and often, but you would not hear, saith the Lord. Hear you therefore the word of the Lord, all you of the captivity, whom I have sent away from Jerusalem to Babylon. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, concerning Ahab, the son of Kolaiah, and concerning Zedekiah, the son of Maaseiah, who prophesy a lie unto you in my name. Behold, I will deliver them into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and he shall slay them before your eyes. And of them shall be taken up a curse by all the captivity of Judah that are in Babylon, saying, The Lord make you like Zedekiah, and like Ahab, whom the king of Babylon roasted in the fire, because they have wrought vile deeds in Israel, and have committed adultery with their neighbors' wives, and have spoken words in my name falsely, which I commanded them not, but I am he that knoweth and am witness, saith the Lord. And concerning Shemaiah the Nehelamite, you shall speak, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, saying, Because you have sent letters in your own name unto all the people that are at Jerusalem, and to Zephaniah, the son of Maaseiah, the priest, and to all the priests, saying, The Lord hath made you priest in the stead of Jehoiada the priest. that there should be officers in the house of the Lord for every man that is mad and makes himself a prophet, that you should put him in the stocks and in the collar. Now therefore, why have you not rebuked Jeremiah of Anathoth, who makes himself a prophet to you? Forasmuch as he is sent unto us in Babylon, saying, The captivity is long, build you houses, and dwell in them, and plant gardens, and eat the fruit of them. And Zephaniah the priest read this letter into the ears of Jeremiah the prophet. Then came the word of the Lord unto Jeremiah, saying, Send all of them of the captivity, saying, Thus saith the Lord concerning Shemaiah the Nehilami, because that Shemaiah has prophesied unto you, and I sent him not, and he hath caused you to trust in a lie. Therefore thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will punish Shemaiah the Nehilami and his seed. He shall not have a man to dwell among this people, neither shall he behold the good that I will do unto my people, saith the Lord, because he has spoken perversion against the Lord. All right, let's go back up to verse 1. Now, we are kind of changing subjects, and I believe yesterday we was talking about the little fiasco there that Hananiah got into with Jeremiah, and him and Jeremiah had a little words, and what happened was he was prophesying a lie, saying when the children of Israel were going to come back, or the children of Judah was going to come back, that had been carried off to Babylon, because what had happened is the king of Babylon had come in and carried off the Jehoniah, which is that which got established. He was the king of Judah at that time, and he's come in and he's carried him off to Babylon. Jeconiah come out and surrendered. You know, Jehoiakim had done been carried off in fetters to Babylon already, and so had a couple other generations prior, one being carried off to Babylon, the other being carried off to even Egypt, the first one. But now we're going to be at this same time period, and we're going to see that Jeremiah was having a lot of trouble now in the land, and because of what he was prophesying, and this was a time period where they was going to cast Jeremiah into prison for what he was doing, because actually they felt like everything he was saying was coming true, and so he was the cause of everything, kind of. And basically this is what was happening. Jeremiah was prophesying just what he knew was going to happen. Isaiah had done prophesied about this same period. You know, it began when Hezekiah showed his hand to the king of Babylon and everything he had. It was just a matter of time before he come in there. But we're going to pick this up in verse 1. Now, these are the words of the letter that Jeremiah the prophet sent from Jerusalem unto the residue of the elders of captivity, and to the priests, and to the prophets, and to all the people whom Nebuchadnezzar had carried away captive from Jerusalem to Babylon. So what we have here is we're going to have some words from a letter that Jeremiah sent to the ones who was in captivity, who Nebuchadnezzar, the prophet that protects the crown, he is the captain or the king of confusion, or king of Babylon. He carried away Jeconiah to that which got established off to Babylon. They come out to him. Of course, now, verse 2. After that Jeconiah, the king and queen mother, and officers, and the princes of Judah and Jerusalem, and the craftsmen and the smiths were departed from Jerusalem, he carried all these off. These are the letters that Jeremiah sent after this period of time. See, after he had done come in and carried off all these idolaters that was in the land, these craftsmen and the smiths, these ones that was helping produce these little idols, of course, they would get carried off first. 3. By the hand of Elisah, the son of Shaphan, and Gemariah, the son of Hilkiah, whom Zedekiah, king of Judah, sent unto Babylon to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, saying, So these were the letters, and the way he got them there was by the hand of Elisah, the one that God had made. And he was the son of Shaphan. And what Shaphan is a digger. It's an animal that digs in the ground, and he hides himself in the earth. And Gemariah is God has accomplished. God, and what it means is really that God is basically at the end of his patience. And he is the son of Hilkiah. And he is the portion, that's portion of God, that which God has divided out, because we're finding, see, that's what God is doing. He's separating. We got one portion, Zedekiah. He's going to punish. We got another portion, Jeconiah. He's sending them off into Babylon. It's punishment, see. But he's got good in mind. We're going to find out. Verse 4. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, unto all the captivity whom I have caused to be carried away captive from Jerusalem unto Babylon. Thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, unto all those that are in captivity, those are those ones who's already been carried away from the place of peaceful teachings unto confusion. 5. Build you houses, and dwell in them, and plant gardens, and eat the fruit of them. Go ahead and make you houses. Go ahead and plant you gardens, and eat the fruit of them. See why? Because you're going to be there a while. And that's what Jeremiah was telling them. Isaiah had done prophesied this period of time, this 70 years. 6. Take you wives, and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, and multiply you there, and be not diminished. Go ahead and get you some wives, take wives, and carry on life just like you normally would while you're off there in Babylon. Take you wives, have children. You're going to be there a while. 7. And seek the peace of the city, where I have caused you to be carried away captive, and pray unto the Lord for it, for in the peace thereof shall you have peace. Now pray you for this city. Which city? This is Babylon, where you've been carried away to. See, you've been carried off captive, and pray now for this city of peace, because as long as it has peace, this will be your peace. 8. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, let not your prophets that are in the midst of you, and your diviners, beguile you, neither hearken you to your dreams which you cause to be dreamed. God saying, don't listen to your prophets that are in the midst of you. Once again, your diviners, these ones who are supposedly able to divine rightfully the Word of God. Don't let them trick you. Neither hearken to your dreams, these illusions which you have caused to be dreamed during this period, even of your sleep, of your confusion. 9. For they prophesy falsely unto you in my name. I have not sent them, saith the Lord. And during this period of time, we're going to see that they was over there prophesying. This is what was going on. They was prophesying, saying, oh, the captivity is short. We are soon to go back. The Lord is coming to take us away from here. See, this is what they was prophesying. He's going to return. Remember what Hananiah was saying? 2 years shall the Lord return and carry back. 10. For thus saith the Lord, after 70 years are accomplished for Babylon, I will remember you, and perform my good word towards you, in causing you to return to this place. But thus saith the Lord, after 70 years are accomplished for Babylon, after 70 years of confusion, I will remember you. And this 70 years. Years is that time of, this would be the greater understanding, this full circle of days. And 70, the 70 written here is probably not the way it was originally written. The prophets would usually write this now in a series of numbers, like 3 3 and 20 and 10. See, because we would write a number, if we wanted to write 23, we would write 20 and 3. They would not write 23. Or if we wanted to write 60, we would write 3 and 20. Later on, this 20 they would call a score, and in some older text, it's still written that way. And we would see this as now till the complete redemption of the law is understood. See, that's what 70 would mean. And redemption is always 20 because it is to witness the law. Because there would be two punishments. And that's what we're talking about. 11, for I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Lord. Thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and hope. And that was the purpose of it at that time. To establish hope, to give peace, and not of evil. See, God thought to do this because even though they thought there was punishment in it, but we'll find out, even in this, there is deliverance. See, there's great deliverance in this punishment. Even the ability to see what God has done. 12, and you shall call upon me, and go, and pray unto me, and I will listen unto you. And that's what's going to happen, see, when the full understanding of this comes out, because they don't understand what God's intention is. What God's intention is, how he has sent and given victory. See, great victory in the earth, in his judgment in the earth. Victory. God has done these things. 13. And you shall seek me and find me, and you shall search for me with all your heart. Search for the existing one, the only one, God himself. That's who you'll search for with all your heart, because the devastation that God has brought into the land, this great confusion that God has even put in all the earth, this great example that God has made. 14. And I will be found of you, saith the Lord, and I will turn your captivity, and gather you from all the nations, and from all the places where I have driven you, saith the Lord, and I will bring you back unto the place where I caused you to be carried away captive. Right back to Jerusalem, this place of peaceful teachings. Right back, see, because the teachings from the beginning was the law, see, and this was the example that was being made. God was punishing it. God was punishing this great city. Why? They had transgressed the law, the inhabitants of it. And God had sent them into captivity. See, all the earth is in captivity and in a confusion brought on by men doing the same thing today as they was doing then. God had wrought a great work in the earth, though, and these were the prophecies of even the time when he would turn this captivity. God will turn this captivity. See, God will do these things. He will turn it around. 15. For you have said, the Lord hath raised us up prophets in Babylon. And that's what they were saying. They were saying, God has raised up prophets in Babylon. But what we're going to find out, see, there was going to be punishment there for this. See, God was going to punish those ones that are saying they were the prophets. They was declaring when they would return. 16, for thus saith the Lord concerning the king that sits upon the throne of David, and concerning all the people that dwell in this city, your brethren that are not gone forth with you into captivity. And this would be for Zedekiah. See, this would be Zedekiah. He's the king that's sitting upon the throne of David right now in Jerusalem. See, that's who we would be referencing this. Now, so Jeremiah is also included in this. He's telling them, those that are in captivity. Now, about Zedekiah, right now, he's sitting on the throne of David. God's going to punish 17. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Behold, I will send upon them the sword, the famine, and the pestilence, and I will make them like vile figs that cannot be eaten, they are so bad. And we remember the figs, the figs, the 2 baskets of figs. This would be what Jeremiah was saying about them 2 baskets of figs. This separation. God's divided. We had 1 basket of figs. It was good figs. It was Yaconia that he was sending off into Babylon. We have Zedekiah, the bad figs, which he was going to punish because they were evil. They would not turn. See, God was making an example. Jeremiah prophesying, saying, turn back to the law of God, that God not punish this city, that God repent of himself, what he said. But they wouldn't listen. See, they wouldn't listen. And so God sent the sword, the famine, the pestilence, just like he said he would do. 18. And I will pursue after them with the sword, with the famine, and with the pestilence, and I will make them a horror unto all the kingdoms of the earth, a curse and astonishment, and a hissing and a reproach among all the nations where I have driven them. And we're going to find out this is exactly what happened. And he drove them out, and they went out of the city. We'll find out this is exactly what happened between the 2 walls. And then they'll catch him there in Jericho. 19. Because they have not hearkened to my words, saith the Lord, wherewith I sent unto them my servants the prophets, sending them before and often, but you would not hear, saith the Lord, because you didn't listen to God. You never listened to God. You never listen to the ones who saying, hey, listen to God. That's all they're saying. Listen to God. Obey his commandments. Obey his law. He said this is the law. They should have put the book there beside them. They should have stayed in it day and night. There was a law that went with this seat. But they didn't listen. God made examples. They didn't listen. The prophet saying, look, this is what God's doing. This is what you're doing. You're not listening. 20. Hear you therefore the word of the Lord, all you of captivity, whom I have sent away from Jerusalem to Babylon. These were all those that had been sent out of the city of Jerusalem into Babylon, this place of confusion. 21. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, concerning Ahab, the son of Kolaiah, and concerning Zedekiah, the son of Maaseiah, who prophesy a lie unto you in my name, behold, I will deliver them to the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, and he shall slay them before your eyes. And we don't have all the stories that go with this little situation here. But this Ahab, means my father's brother. He's the son of Kolaiah, the voice of God. And concerning Zedekiah, my strength of God, and Maaseiah, or Zedekiah is the son of Maaseiah. He would be the work of God. The work of God would be the strength. Who they prophesy a lie in my name, because see, they was doing the same thing that Hananiah was doing. And they was all prophesying lies, and what they was doing was making themselves mighty off the judgment that God had put in the earth. This judgment, this being carried off to captivity, they was making themselves money off this. They was prophesying lies. But God has given them over into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, and he shall slay them before your eyes. And that's what was going to happen. 22. And them shall be taken up a curse by all the captivity of Judah that are in Babylon, saying, the Lord make you like Zedekiah and like Ahab, whom the king of Babylon roasted in the fire. And the Lord make you like the strength of God, and like my father's brother, who the king of Babylon roasted in the fire. And this sounds really familiar here. The book of Jasher tells about how Nimrod throwed Abraham and Haran into the furnace, and of course this furnace there was to make the clay tablets. But these king of Babylon, this confusion, the being roasted in the fire, because this is one of the references we're going to have to this furnace, even this furnace from the king of Babylon, even this furnace of fire, of confusion. 23, because they have wrought vile deeds in Israel, and have committed adultery with their neighbors' wives, and have spoken words in my name falsely, which I commanded them not, but I am he that knoweth and am witness, saith the Lord. Because what they've done is they had wrought vile deeds, these deeds of just foolishness. Just foolishness is what it is. There's no sense in prophesying this understanding of peace, and everybody's been carried off into captivity. They're in captivity, and you're prophesying peace. This is foolishness. And these are the words for which they would be punished. And why? They had committed adultery with their neighbors' wives, and even this has a higher understanding. But there's witnesses of this, and God knows the truth. And these neighbors' wives represent those ones of different understandings. They bring these things in, and they try to use them even against the people. 24, and concerning Shemaiah the Nehelamite, you shall speak, saying, and Shemaiah is this one that's heard of God. He is the Nehelami, and that is the dreamer. 25. Thus speaks the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, saying, because you have sent letters in your own name unto all the people that are at Jerusalem, and to Zephaniah the son of Maaseiah the priest, and to all the priests, saying, and we're kind of changing a little bit here. We was that, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about Shemaiah, this one who has heard God. He is the dreamer. He says he's heard God, but he hasn't. And what he is, he's the false prophet. He's the one running his mouth saying, hey, God says this, God says that. God hasn't sent him. 25. Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel. Because why? They had sent letters. He had sent letters for his own gain, for his own reasons. He had sent them unto Zephaniah, who is the son of Maaseiah. Zephaniah, he is the hidden treasure of God. He's the son of Maaseiah, and we remember Maaseiah, this work of God. Because why? They're both sons. See, we had Zedekiah. He was the son of Maaseiah, and we got Zephaniah, his brother. He is the son of because they're both sons of Maaseiah, the work of God. See, God, this is all God's work. See, God's work in here. 26. The Lord has made you priest in the stead of Jehoiada the priest, that there should be officers in the house of the Lord, for every man that is mad and makes himself a prophet, that you should put him in stocks and in the collar. And this is the letters that Shemaiah, see, had sent to Zephaniah. This ain't part of the letters that Jeremiah said, but yet, and we're going to find out in a minute, see, Zephaniah is the one who's standing there reading this letter to Jeremiah. 26. The Lord hath made you priest instead of Jehoiada the priest, that there should be officers in the house of the Lord, for every man that is mad and makes himself a prophet, that you should put him in stocks and in the collar. So, and basically what he's saying is, God has made you priest over there, and he's speaking to Zephaniah, who was the son of Maaseiah, saying, instead of Jehoiada, and Jehoiada means God knows or God understands what's going on, because God is causing all this to happen. And He has made you officers in the house of the Lord. God has done this. God has left you there, that there should be officers in the house of God, is what it's saying. For every man that is mad, we're missing a little punctuation here. For every man that is mad, who are those? And makes himself a prophet. These that are making themselves a prophet is what Shemaiah is saying, that you should put him in stocks and in the collar. It's 27. Now therefore, why have you not rebuked Jeremiah of Anathoth, who makes himself a prophet unto you? So now, if it's already a law that anybody who makes himself a prophet, because see what they had said was, God will raise us up prophets over here in Babylon. So why haven't you took Jeremiah of Anathoth, this one whom God has appointed from the place of answers, who makes himself a prophet, 28, for as much as he has sent unto us in Babylon, saying, the captivity is long, build you houses and dwell in them, and plant gardens and eat the fruit of them. They want to know why they ain't took back Jeremiah and locked him up in shackles for what he's saying. He's been sending letters saying, build you some houses, take you wives, plant you gardens, eat the fruit. You're going to be there a while. He's been declaring this 70-year period. Same thing that Isaiah declared. But see, we already know that even after that, the king of Babylon is going to be punished. That's what nobody understands. See, there's always going to be, it's like a circle goes around, for his time will come, and then the next time will come. Why? Because they transgress the law of God. It's a perpetual thing set in motion. See, this was the foretelling of the second one, which is to come, 29. And Zephaniah the priest read this letter in the ears of Jeremiah the prophet. So why? Because they probably brought Jeremiah from prison to hear these words. This was during a period where Jeremiah was in and out of the prison house. 30. Then came the word of the Lord unto Jeremiah, saying. So now Jeremiah is going to answer Zephaniah. 31. Send all of them of the captivity, saying, thus saith the Lord concerning Shemaiah the Nehelami. And we remember Shemaiah, this one that's heard of God. He's the dreamer, this false prophet. This one is supposed to have all the answers, because the Shemaiah hath prophesied unto you, and I sent him not. He has caused you to trust in a lie. He's lying unto you. Because he's done this, God ain't sent him, and he's causing the people to trust in this. 32. Therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, I will punish Shemaiah the Nehelami, and his seed, and he shall not have a man to dwell among this people, neither shall he behold the good that I will do unto my people, saith the Lord, because he has spoken perversion against the Lord. He won't live to see the understanding that's going to save the children of God, these ones that understand and see the witness. This would be when God would cause them to return from captivity, where they have been delivered. See, this would be the first captivity here that we're talking of. But there was a second captivity to come, and the first just being the examples and the prophecies of the next that would come. See God working a great victory in the earth, because they have transgressed the law of God. They have gone astray. They have turned their back. Turn and return. Let's move on to chapter 30.